All right, good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. Hopefully you got started without me. If you're looking to stay current on the top cybersecurity news stories of the day while being educated and entertained and going way beyond the headlines, well then welcome to Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. It's March 30th, and this is episode 1099. We're off and running. Grab a coffee, let's get comfortable, and let's cook. All right, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a lovely weekend and are ready to tackle this week. Hopefully your bracket is doing well if you're playing the NCAA March Madness tournament. I'm happy to report I am going to win my friends pool or friends bracket challenge, first time ever. Not saying I used AI to help me pick my bracket, but I'm also not saying I didn't not use AI to not fill the bracket. Hey, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Hey, like I said, we're going to go through 8 stories of the day. I'm going to be breaking them down, going beyond the headlines. By the end of this show, you'll be up to date on what's current in the news. But also, if you're studying, if you're a learner, if you're trying to level up, it's very valuable to understand a lot of these terminologies as well as acronyms, as well as how they all interrelate with each other. There's a lot of concepts in cybersecurity, and it can get easy to get lost in the noise. So what we do is we shine a light on it, and we show you the path and walk alongside with you. It's all about good times. For all the long timers who have been here, the Devin Grady's, the Marcus Kylers, the Ms. Julians, Z-Myths, Chuggies, AdTechs, Code Brews, Tech Rick Evie's in the chat, obviously the mod team, so many other Space Tacos, TJ, just guys, thanks so much for being here. As always, it's nice to see all the regs and the Simply Cyber community members. If your name is colored like green or you got some badges next to you, squad members, thanks for the support to help the show carry on 1099 episodes. But for those who are here for the first time, oh my, welcome to the party, pal. If you're here for the first time listening, whether you're live with us or you're on the replay, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. Welcome back, Keith Sloan. Drop a hashtag first timer in chat if it's your first time, because we've got some sound effects and some emotes. We love welcoming our first timers into the podcast. Let you know that we are here. Hey, Space Tacos, 34 months blue badge, locking it in for lurker mode. I love it. All right, drop a hashtag first timer and we will welcome you. Also want to say each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. Very simple. If you've got a cybersecurity certification, you need to maintain it. Drop a hashtag, or don't drop a hashtag. Just say hello with today's date, episode number, whatever. Grab a screenshot. The title of the episode always has the index number and the episode date on it, right? So Ryu Sex, long timer. Legrat's old timer. Yeah, just grab a screenshot, show you're here. It's like basically your certificate of attendance. Once a year, count up those screenshots, divide by 2, and you will get how many CPEs you have. That's right. Welcome to the party, pal. Every day of the week has a special segment. Mondays is the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. We recognize one member of the community. Let them know what's up. And I'm very happy because it is a sponsored segment by ThreatLocker that I get to give a $100 Amazon gift card to the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, which is always nice. It's great to share the love. As opposed to, I don't get a lot of trolly hate comments on YouTube, but I got a nice one over the weekend talking about how I'm a mouthpiece, market puppet for Cisco. Thank you. For taking the time to comment, viewer. And I did respond back with a comment qualifying my position and how I make my content. So as I apply chapstick, let me say what's up and say holla, as if this isn't a perfect segue, to the stream sponsors. Yes, running a show actually costs money. Surprise, surprise. So I'm wicked grateful and happy that the stream sponsors enable me to bring this show to you and give prizes out to you, which is always dope. Starting with Flare. Now, Flare is disrupting the way that cyber threat intelligence is going and how you access it. This is dope. Here's real-time live feed look-ins at Flare. Here's the deal. You can sign up for Flare right now for 2 weeks free trial, no questions asked, and you will get access to years of cyber threat, dark web, and cyber criminal Telegram channels and such. Well, what's the value of this? Here's the deal. Imagine, if you will, that an endpoint in your environment gets compromised. Imagine, if you will, someone has fallen for a phish, or they've installed second stage payloads, Redline info stealer, they fell for ClickFix, whatever. We are way beyond the days of like single threat actor doing the whole kill chain. It's much more of a coordinated ecosystem, C2 traffic and such. So what ends up happening is, on the dark web, there's all sorts of information regarding, this endpoint and creds and tokens and initial access brokers and such. So by using Flare's platform, you're actually able to query it. That's the power, right? So half of it's them grabbing all this data. The second half is them making it an interface, like you can see here, to easily search that data and see if anything from your domain, your organization's in there. I love it. Go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare now. You can check it out for 2-week free trial. They do have to verify your identity to make sure you're not a cyber criminal, because it would be too powerful for a cyber criminal. Also want to say holla to Anti-Siphon Training. Many of you did the SOC training last week, 2 weeks ago, or last week. And then RSA, John was at RSA. Man, they are busy people, but they are disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry, offering high quality, cutting edge education to everyone. And they've got a special one coming up here. Let me see the calendar. I want to see the calendar. Ah, yes, here we are. Look at this. I think Dan Reardon, aka the Haircut Fish, is going to be, yes. Dude, this Wednesday, 2 days from now, noon Eastern time. You want to learn how to write SOC tickets that build trust and drive action? You applying for a SOC analyst job and want to get some insights on, how to answer an interview question around SOC tickets? If you don't understand the value and utility of SOC tickets, then this is absolutely a free 1-hour webinar you should attend. What do you write in the SOC ticket? How do you make it useful as a handoff? How do you ingest a SOC ticket, right? You need to be able to communicate well across teams, not teams, but basically around the clock. So write better SOC tickets, and it will help you be a better SOC analyst, and it'll help you crush job interviews. That's a fact. I'll drop a link to Dan's talk in chat. Love it. All right. Also, for sure, ThreatLocker. I want to say thank you to ThreatLocker. Big fan of them. They're going places. I don't know where they are with their IPO, but there's no question in my mind that they are skyrocketing towards that. They do endpoint protection great. They've moved to the cloud, continuing to level up. Let's hear from ThreatLocker, and then I will melt your face. Promise. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Let's do it. Let's sit back. Let's relax. Do we have a show on Friday? Why? Is Friday a holiday? Hold on 1 second. I just live in the moment now. What's Friday? Why wouldn't we have a job on? All right. As far as I know, we have a show on Friday. Do me a favor, everybody. Z-Myth, sit back ad tech, relax. And haircut fish, put down your slide deck and let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us all in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll. Oh, this is such a good one. All right, hold on. We have no hold on. We have no audio. We have no audio. Hold on one second. All right. That means you guys didn't hear any of the music, any of the sound effects. Brosif, if you're here for the first time, welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Okay, we got you. We got you. See, the thing, you know what? I got to tell you this really quickly. I got to tell you this. This is the most it's hilarious to me because we're on a 20-second delay. So when I make a mistake, even after I've corrected it, I get 20 seconds of feedback about how I'm making mistakes. It's very correct. You know, it's like what is it called when you like oh my god. It's like asserting learning. Okay, all right, let's go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
Oh, by the way, cool sounds, hot news. Let's go.
These are the cyber.
Oh, also for the long timers here, that would be me.
Security headlines for Monday, March 30th.
Thanks, Lucky.
2026. I'm Steve Prentice. FBI confirms theft of director's personal emails. The announcement is in regard primarily to photographs of FBI Director Kash Patel, which were allegedly stolen from his personal email account on Friday morning. The hacking group Handala, which has ties to Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security, is said to have leaked them. An FBI spokesperson stated that the information is, quote, historical in nature and involves no government information, end quote. The leak also includes emails allegedly sent by and to Patel from between 2010 and 2019. The group, Handala, claimed the leak was in response to the FBI's takedown last week of several Handala websites, as well as the imposition of a $10 million bounty on members of the group. Lloyd.
All right. So this is this is laughable, right? Okay, but first of all, F around and find out. We are in a we're in a global conflict right now. I don't care what some leaders call it or define it as. We are fully embroiled in a escalating global conflict, and there are going to be ideologically motivated, cybersecurity capable threat actors that are going to take action in this Handala group. This Handala group basically is an example. So Kash Patel, many of you know who Kash Patel is. He's very public figure, has done some wild things. He's even gone international, right? Because he was in Milan a few weeks ago. Super pumped to have partially funded that trip. And the Handala group got their infrastructure taken down. So in direct response to that, they attacked him. Now, they said it's also directly related to the sinking of an Iranian frigate. But I mean, that just kind of seems convenient. All right, this is coming through right now that the equivalent of this is like the CIA of Iran. So my bad. I thought Handala was like a threat actor hacktivist group. This is actually state-sponsored, linked to the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security. Okay. Dude, for anyone who thought for a minute or was like living in this like, alternate universe where Iran is like a bunch of uncivilized, unsophisticated, non-technically advanced third world country, you are horribly mistaken. There are, I mean, what is it 90 million people Iran population? I think it's 90 million. 92 million people in Iran. First world cyber capability, okay? First world power cyber capability, as you've seen, organized around how they're handling this current situation. So Kash Patel gets his email compromised. All right. Here's the deal. Couple things. Number one, this is his personal email. I was very happy to see that no government or sensitive information was included in this. So first of all, from a policy perspective, nice job. At least it wasn't leaked that any of this was. And there's no reason to think that Handala wouldn't have leaked something if it was in there. So the separation of work and personal, well done. Kash Patel, big fan of that. Number two, it did not give any details into how he was compromised. So he could have been phished and his creds went out. He could have had reused his password and had that compromised. He could have fallen for a click fix and run second stage payloads. And then they got onto the machine and then just, stole a session token or something. Many, many different ways that this could have happened. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. Zmev says they guessed his password. Is this true or you're suggesting that, Zmev? Okay. I also want to point out something else really quickly that threat actors will do. All right. So this is the story. It's kind of a funny, it's quote unquote funny story. They could have hit him with Pegasus. Sure. I feel like if they hit him with Pegasus or any like next level spyware, they wouldn't have gone after his personal email. They would have scorched earth all of his things. I'm sure he's got some photos on his phone or his videos on his phone that are interesting. Here's what I would say about this. Number one, this is an interesting story. It's top news, fine, etc. Like this happened last week, and I feel like the impact of this has already kind of washed away, and we're on to the next thing, right? So there wasn't some bombshell photo of him and of him doing something weird, or he's like in a picture with Putin in like a Turkish bathhouse or something. Nothing weird like that. Okay. Number two, and this is probably the most important, like extra lesson here. Like I definitely love to give you guys additional insights, extra value, etc. Okay. Let me tell you something. They immediately go for the photos, right? They can comb through all his email and stuff, but it's very easy to sort by photos. And then from a human, scan the photos. Now, why am I telling you that? Okay. Listen really quickly. And this is a tough one to educate end users on. And I would strongly encourage you yourself as a cyber professional, protect yourself from this capacity. When a threat actor gets into your email or gets into your iCloud, okay, one of the easiest things to do is, sort by or filter on pictures and then scan the pictures quickly. Now, you might think I'm talking about pictures of you in compromising ways, or you're doing some naughty stuff with your significant other. Nope. A lot of people will take pictures of their one-time password, break glass in case of emergency, backdoor passwords, right? You register your 1Password, your LastPass, your bank account, your financial management portal or whatever, and you sign up for multi-factor authentication. Well, a lot of times they will give you like 9 weird, words, and they'll say, hey, this will only be shown once, record it. And then if you ever lose your phone, lose your hardware token, your email gets compromised, whatever, these 9 words will unlock your password, bar none. Okay. And a lot of people, for better or worse, take out their phone and they snap a picture of it. Well, if you have iCloud or you're using an iPhone and you haven't filled up your 5 gigs, it will automatically back it up to the cloud. If you're using Google Photos and you have it set to automatic, it will back it up to Google Photos. So, the problem is when I'm scanning photos, I can tell photos of humans and then photos of documents. In fact, the search engines are pretty solid now where you can just say password or document and it'll auto filter all that crap. So for this one, if I was Handala, yeah, it's cute to find Kash Patel dancing around like a silly person, but it's much more valuable and interesting to find his recovery passwords. So for you yourself, be mindful. If you are taking pictures of that stuff, be careful because it will back it up. And a threat actor also is well aware of that.
Lloyds Bank customer data exposed in IT glitch. This is an error that exposed personal data of nearly 500,000 customers of Lloyds Banking Group, data that included payment details, account details, and national insurance numbers that could have been visible to other users. Officials from Lloyds Bank, which is one of the UK's big 4 banking houses, blamed the glitch on, quote, a software defect introduced during an IT update to its Lloyds, Halifax, and Bank of Scotland mobile banking apps in the early hours of March 12th. Although the window of exposure of the customer's data was very small, at least for human observers, the customers and even people who were not Lloyds Banking Group customers may have had their transaction details exposed. Hundreds of...
All right. Okay. I mean, you don't see this very often, okay? And I'm not talking about the software bug, okay? So software bug got introduced to a mobile app, and unfortunately, it allowed the exposure of transaction detail of people who are not you. So imagine, if you will, you open your banking app, you look at transactions, and all of a sudden, everybody's transactions are there. Here's my thing. They definitely updated this. Usually you do updates overnight. Okay, so you can see here, overnight into March 12th. So the evening of March 11th to 12th. And the idea behind that, oh yeah, that's a really good point. If they do that, I'm sorry, overnight upgrades happen because it's less disruptive to operations, right? There's fewer people using the platform. Doesn't mean nobody's using the platform, but it's fewer people, less impact. Now, here's the thing. They said that this glitch would only have caused a problem if somebody pulled up the app and looked at transactions within small fractions of a second. Now, here's what I'm stunned that they are reporting this, okay? Small fractions of a second, less than 1 second, a blip. I mean, if anything, I would have done incident response, or, I would have gone back and looked to see if anyone had actually done this. Dude, small fractions of a second. I get that there's hundreds of thousands of users of this app, but dude, middle of the night, and you had to have hit it right on the head in order to do this. So they are being thorough. Either that or they're not being 100% accurate. Also, how did they detect this, dude? If I push a update to production, right, and there's a problem, you're not going to find it within a split second. It would take at least 1 second, and I'm being incredibly conservative. So I don't know what the hell's up with that. I will say TLDR, this is why change management's a thing. That's why CM is an entire control family in NIST 853. You will get a lot of groans and pushback from IT and applications and data and help desk and everyone else about change control boards. But guess what? This is why you do it. So everybody's on the same page. Okay, so whatever. Be prepared during maintenance for crap to happen, and always have a rollback. Always have a rollback strategy if things go backwards. Definitely don't ever do an update to production and not have a rollback plan. Okay. Also, really quickly on this Kash Patel story, all we did was talk about data compromise. I mean, if they're in the email, they could also have sent emails as Kash Patel, which is a non-repudiation issue. DJ Bisek mentioned that they could have run an AI agent across this for even deeper insights quicker. They could have set up a forward email address on this thing in order to compromise, confidentiality. There's a whole bunch that could have gone on here.
Valid API keys discovered on the web. Researchers from Stanford say that after analyzing 10 million websites, they found almost 2,000 API credentials strewn across 10,000 web pages. They performed this research, they said, because, quote, much of the attention on exposed credentials has focused on scouring code repositories and source code, end quote. They put forth that, quote, analysis of production websites is essential to understand the scope of the problem, end quote. The researchers found highly sensitive API credentials left publicly exposed on web pages, which act as access tokens that authorize applications to interact with third-party services, granting direct access to critical infrastructure like cloud platforms and payment providers. These, the researchers say, are even more dangerous than exposed login details because they provide programmatic access to resources. The valid credentials belong to multinational corporations, critical infrastructure entities, and government agencies, and provide access to services like AWS, GitHub, Stripe, and OpenAI.
All right, I'm glad other people don't know what boffins are. What is a boffin? Sounds like it's a security researcher. A British informal term for a scientist or technical expert engaged in research. All right, Roswell, UK. We got boffins for days. All right, so check it out. Really quick shout out to the Magic the Gathering community. The lead researcher was named Demir. Yes, sir. I mean, clearly this guy knows what's going on. All right, so check it out. Surprise, surprise. Somebody scanned a bunch of websites and found valid API keys. API keys are essentially credentials, except instead of a human logging in, it is software or scripts or programs logging in. If you have used an AI tool and not natively interface directly with the AI platform, but had some other tool use it, like OpenClaw, for example, or Claude Code, for example, you're using API. You know what an API key is. Listen, you always have to generate an API key in order to be able to access a backend platform with your software, with your tooling, right? So if you don't know what an API key is, welcome to the party, pal. Okay.
Welcome to the party.
It stands for Application Programming Interface, and it's basically exposed functionality of an application or a server, like SaaS server or something like that. This is why you can write your own crypto wallets to interface with, like, Coinbase, or you can write your own email clients to interface with Google's backend or something like that. It's all API keys. All right. TLDR. Website developers are doing a crap job and API keys are exposed to the internet. If someone gets your API key, it's like getting your username and password. They can just use your resources. They can log in and burn your tokens. They can log in and query your data set and pull data from it. It's just a bad opportunity. They did use a very good analogy. Keys on doormats, right? So sometimes you got a house key under a doormat. This one, it's like the key is on top of the doormat. All you got to do is look down, which is trivial because honestly, websites are being scanned every day. Stand up a honeypot and look at it. Within 5 minutes, you're going to get bamboozled. Okay. Of course, I mean, this is so stupid, but some eye candy for everybody. Somebody get the executive team on the table. Oh, look. They're rerouting through Friendster. Oh my God, look, Europe is hot right now. It's so hot. Oh,
That Hansel's so hot right now.
okay. Like, this is basically like honeypots, except completely unusable. Put this in the knock on like the 80-inch screen that's hanging up on top. This is eye candy. Not practical. No SOC analyst, no CISO's like, oh my God, hey, give me the cyber threat live mat stat. I need to know what's going on in Abu Dhabi right now. Holy crap. Astria's Austria's going global. All right.
CISA adds F5 big IP APM exploit to its KEV. Citing evidence of active exploitation, the agency added the vulnerability, which has a CVSS v4 score of 9.3, to its catalog because it could allow a threat actor to achieve remote code execution, and because, quote, it has been exploited in the vulnerable big IP versions, end quote. Watchtower CEO and founder Benjamin Harris said in a statement that this vulnerability, quote, initially appeared last year as a denial of service issue, which did not immediate signal urgency, and many system administrators likely prioritized it accordingly, end quote, which is why it is more urgent now.
All right, let's look. CISA doing CISA's job. By the way, like if you haven't been following, DHS hasn't been funded. TSA workers going to work for free. CISA falls under that, so I don't know what CISA's been doing. Nobody's been talking about CISA being not funded. There was some like emergency money that takes us through, I think, May 22nd or April 22nd. Anyways, F5, the company, not to be confused with the function key on your computer. Talking about APM exploitation. I don't even know what APM is. Oh, it's their access policy manager. Okay. All right. So if you're running it on a virtual server and the threat actor can send malicious traffic, they will get remote code execution. Now, the fact that it's on the KEV, the known exploited vulnerability catalog, the KEV, the fact that it's there shows that, you know, threat actors are in fact exploiting it, right? It's not like a theory. And remember always, guys, that like just because there's a vulnerability doesn't mean it's actively being exploited. Just because you left your front door of your house unlocked doesn't mean you got robbed. Just because you left your car unlocked or you left your keys, just because you left your car running unlocked in front of the grocery store, which, by the way, annoys the crap out of me. I don't know why people park in South Carolina. People love parking in the fire lane at grocery stores and they just go shopping. Like, how don't we all have a social contract to use the parking lot? I digress. But if just because you leave your car running in the fire lane doesn't mean that's a vulnerability, doesn't mean that someone's going to commit grand theft auto and steal your car. This instance is showing that people are in fact exploiting it. There is a string of people running around stealing cars that are left unlocked and running. Okay. So be aware of that. If you're running F5, big IP, application policy manager, you've got to patch it. Do I not get a sound effect, my guy? You got to patch it. Thank you. Yeah, so it looks like there's a lot of different versions. You can run, looks like F5 has got concurrent branches running, so you don't have to upgrade to the newest 17.513. It looks like you can run like version 15, version 16, version 17. So if you're not ready to make the commitment, you know, if you're still being casual with the relationship with F5 and you're not ready to take it to the next level and put a ring on it and get up to their most current version, you're just kind of playing the field in version 15, you can go ahead and patch it and clear this. As always, I do want to look at the, my guy, come on, where's the CVE number? I do want to look at the CVE number really quickly and give you guys some DJ BSEC love. There it is. CVE 2025. So it's over a year old. So if you haven't patched it yet, you gotta patch it. You better have patched it. I mean, it's not a year old, but it's at least 3 months old, 4 months old. This is DJ BSEC's CVE tool. Ooh, not good. Not good. You got about a 19% chance of getting exploited in the next 30 days. It's in the 95th percentile of bad. Okay. So this is, it says not in Kev list. DJ BSEC's tool is not either not update. It's definitely not updated. I don't know if he doesn't check for updates once this thing enters his tool, but whatever it is, DJ BSEC, here's a bug report. This is even more reason to get this patched. I would make this a priority today. Like, honestly, this vulnerability is 3 months old. You should have known about this already, with all due respect, okay?
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. Most breaches don't start with a 0-day. They start because something unexpected was allowed to run. One way organizations reduce risk is by shrinking the attack surface, deciding what software should be allowed to execute and blocking everything else by default. Fewer unknowns means fewer opportunities for attackers. You can learn more at threatlocker.com.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Hope you're having a good show. I know we kind of like the starter bell went off and I tripped over my feet. The good news is you guys are so gracious that you just said, oh my God. Like, I feel like the start of the show, like a starter pistol went off and everybody started sprinting and I just fell down. And you guys were like, we're just going to look this way for like 10 seconds. Why don't you reset? Okay, go. And then we're off and running on a great show. I again want to say thank you to the stream sponsors. I stopped the music, so the copyright. Thank you to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, and Flare. Definitely proud to be a partner with them and really enjoy their products and the people behind them. I definitely know the people. Many of you know the people behind Black Hills and like them. Many of you don't know the Flare people, but I'm telling you, trust me, you'll dig them. And then the ThreatLocker people, some of you went to Zero Trust World. I dig them. All right. So good. Guys, I appreciate it. I got to tell you, showing up here every morning, it's a great part of my day, being here and doing the show with you every morning. Every day of the week has a special segment, and Mondays is Simply Cyber's Community Member of the Week. Yes. When people ask me what do I do, I don't have a great like elevator pitch on what it is. Yes, it's a YouTube channel, but that doesn't really capture what we're doing here. We are a community. We are supportive. We are inclusive. We are like-minded. We celebrate wins, and we level up and set tones and set. I don't want to say expectations, but we inspire each other. I'm super pumped that ThreatLocker recognizes this and has sponsored this segment, meaning I'm going to give the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week a $100 gift card. I used to give merch. I could still do merch, but it's just, there's extra steps to it, and it's difficult with my time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey, you know what? A $100 Amazon gift card fits pretty much everybody's waist size. Today's Community Member of the Week, many of you know him. He's been around a long time, and I don't want to lose sight of the fact that just because someone's very active in the community doesn't mean that I don't recognize it and that I don't take it for granted at all. Many of you know this guy. I want to welcome the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, who also, by the way, keeps track of who the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week is. Ladies and gentlemen, your Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week is Dan Reardon, the haircut fish. This guy, what are we doing? Come on. This guy right here, Dan Reardon, the haircut fish. He is phenomenal. Okay, not only is he an active mod in the
Infinity Stealer malware grabs macOS data through click-fix lures. This new info-stealing malware uses a Python payload packaged as an executable and is used to target macOS programs. It employs a click-fix technique in the form of a fake Cloudflare CAPTCHA. Researchers at Malwarebytes say, quote, "This is the first documented macOS campaign combining click-fix delivery with a Python-based info stealer compiled using Nuitka, that's Nuitka, which creates an executable that is more resistant to static analysis."
All right. I mean, there's a lot of buzzwords here for everybody to get. So I'm going to do, excuse me, let me go put on my corduroy jacket with my leather elbow patches and get full nerd professor on this one. Hold on. I love educating. I love talking about cyber. This one is full of information. So Anor Hack. Hey guys, can we welcome at ANOR Hack to the party?
Welcome to the party.
Thank you, Anor Hack. And really quickly, Anor, like we have a community, thousands of people. I recognize one a week on Mondays and give them $100 Amazon gift card. And this guy right here, Dan, has been around for a long time and very awesome Simply Cyber community member. So let's go through the, you know what? Because Anor Hack said he's the first time here, I'm going to do some John McClane love too on this one. Okay, so don't worry about Infinity Stealer. Just know that there's malware.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Oh, super chat from Space Tacos. Space Tacos, thanks for the super chat. And congratulations to Trikin for passing that Sec Plus. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, Trikin. Keep grinding, dude. Nice accomplishment. So a piece of malware is being written for Mac OS. It's Python loaded, and they use ClickFix to do it. All right, to infect the person. So let me break all this down. And you definitely want to. Hey, thanks, Mr. Bootylicious, who was a first timer recently. So ClickFix is a attack technique, social engineering that you should be mindful of. It's basically a CAPTCHA that shows up, and instead of clicking on crosswalks or bicycles, they tell you to hit start run and then Control V to paste a PowerShell command into the run dialog box and hit enter. It's very effective. There's a bunch of variations of it, but for the most part, educate your end users not to hit Windows key R ever, and you'll be fine. Or just take away the permission for them to run it. Number two. Number two. Hold on one second. I'm trying to get caught up on all this. Cyber Shinigami, 10 gifted subs. Heck yeah, buddy.
Just become best friends. Yep.
If you're one of the 10 recipients of those gifted subs, welcome to the party, pal. There is a emote tray that's been expanded for you to enjoy. Oh, thanks, Mr. Bootylicious. I'm glad you love what we're doing here. You're part of it. All right. So once they run ClickFix, you're owned. And oh my God, Cheddar Bob with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Cheddar Bob.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
5 more squad members coming into the party. Welcome. All right. It says that this code is resistant to static analysis. All right, so check it out. Here we go. Let me break this down for you, and then I'm gonna keep going, because the story is basically ClickFix. If you can prevent that, you're good to go. All right. So what is static analysis and why can it happen? There's basically 3 ways to analyze malware, and like 2 of them are kind of similar, but like essentially static and dynamic analysis. The third one I always get confused about, but like it's static is looking at the source code. Now with Python is an interpreted program, which means you don't compile it, which means you can see the original source code. All right. By compiling the Python into a C code, you do compile it and you lose the original source code. This is why disassemblers like IDA and Ghidra will reverse the code. But what you get in a reversed, disassembled program, like what IDA outputs, is not what the original source code looked like. It's a close approximation. But the whole thing with compilers is compilers will see optimization techniques and ways to like improve performance. So they, the program will still run the way it was programmed, but a compiler will compile it and kind of change the source code. So you can't really go backwards to original source code, which means it's harder to analyze. And obviously, if you read interpreted Python code, you can kind of see where functions are and figure it out. With static analysis, now you've got to understand how to use a disassembler, how to read that, understand how memory allocation works, understand how the registries work on a computer architecture, etc. And then the fact that this runs on Mac OS, I got to tell you guys, I've been working in the industry a long time. I have never, ever disassembled or viewed a decompiled version of a Mac binary. I've only ever looked at portable executables and I guess ELF files, like Linux files, which I know Mac OS is Linux based, so maybe it is the same, but I've never done a Mac OS binary. So if you are interested in a cybersecurity career around malware research, this is definitely interesting for you to take a look at. This is an example right here of the ClickFix. You can see how you're proving that you are in fact a human. is by running this bash command, which has an obfuscated base64 payload. This is so obvious to anybody who has any IT experience that this is bad. But for my Aunt Dorotheas of the world, for the Carls of the world, they will fall for it every time. So be on the lookout of that.
File read flaw in Smart Slider plugin affects 500,000 WordPress sites. The Smart Slider 3 WordPress plugin is actually active on more than 800,000 websites. The flaw can be exploited to allow subscriber-level users access to arbitrary files on the server. An authenticated attacker could access sensitive files such as wp-config.php, which includes database credentials, keys, and salt data, thus creating the risk for user data theft and complete website takeover. Smart Slider 3 is used to create and manage image sliders and content carousels, and this issue, of course, does have a CVE number.
All right. It's been a minute. But WordPress is out there putting in the work. Guys, WordPress is notorious for having the plugins introduce vulnerabilities. If you are running WordPress, it's not a bad platform, okay? I'm not dogging on WordPress. WordPress is a great platform for managing a website. You do have to manage the plugins. The plugins allow you to extend functionality, kind of like Chrome browser extensions, okay? But without managing those plugins, or maintaining them or disabling them when you're not using them, you do introduce attack surface. And in this instance, this Smart Slider 3 WordPress plugin introduces attack surface. Now, I do want to say you have to be an authenticated user on the platform, so that does elevate the difficulty of compromise on this one. But for the most part, my friends, there's 800,000 websites currently out there that have this vulnerability. If you're running WordPress, maybe just go check to see if you have this plugin and you're not using it. Disable it. If you are using it, let's see. There's got to be a patch for it, right? Let me see. Bro. Oh. Okay. The report on March 2nd, and then 3 weeks later, a patch was released. Okay. You gotta patch it. Here's the deal. There's hundreds of thousands of websites still running this. So either they're abandoned websites or they're just got, they don't have administrators paying attention. Don't be that guy. Don't be that lady. Okay. Go look in your environment. See if you're running WordPress. WordPress is easy to find. If you got a vulnerability scanner, you should know that you have a WordPress instance. If you stood up a WordPress instance, you know you have a WordPress instance. If you have a WordPress you forgot about, maybe shut it down. Okay. It's called it's called system lifecycle. You can sunset things. You don't just have to abandon them. Okay. Like an umbrella that you can't close as you're entering an airplane. You don't just abandon it. Okay. You try to figure it out, shut it down. If you are going to use it, patch it. If you don't need it, but you still need the WordPress site, disable the plugin. And if you don't need the WordPress site, shut it down. Like basically, it's choose your own adventure book, but there's only 3 options. Pick what works for you and move forward.
ShinyHunters claims hack of European Commission. The breach allegedly includes, quote, data dumps, including content from mail servers and internal communications systems, end quote, amounting to 350 gigabytes of data. This may include confidential documents, contracts, and other sensitive material. Bleeping Computer first reported the incident, suggesting that the threat actors breached the European Commission's AWS account, but AWS says it did not suffer a security incident and that its services functioned as expected. The attack vector is still unknown. Based in Brussels, the European Commission is the politically independent executive arm of the European Union, responsible for proposing new laws, managing EU policies, and enforcing EU law.
Okay. So, Bleeping Computer, this news outlet, was actually contacted by the threat actors with proof that they were in possession of this European Union Commission data set. AWS quick to point out that they weren't breached, so not obviously, but highly likely that it was an endpoint in the environment or credentials in the environment that allowed a threat actor, in this case, ShinyHunters, to log into that AWS instance. Okay. So it wasn't a compromise of AWS. It was like they logged in. And by the way, this is like definitely the MO of ShinyHunters, Lapsus, Scattered Spider. It's kind of played out. I've been saying it, but like, I'll say it again. Threat actors aren't hacking in 2026. They're logging in. Okay. Let that sink in for a minute. They're not hacking in with technical 0 days and, friggin' formulas flying past their head and all that. They're just getting your credentials and logging in. All right. Now, that doesn't mean technical exploitation isn't happening. It is. But for the most part, it's easy to get creds. The Kash Patel thing was probably creds. And by the way, can I just remind everybody really quickly that, like, just take a minute, because I feel like we get wrapped around the axle on how cool 0 day hacks are, and Hollywood sensationalizes the hacker guy as part of the, attack team, right? There's like the brain, there's the muscle, there's the wild card, and then there's the hacker guy, the guy in the chair. Okay. That's not how it, you got to think about the motivation and the mission, right? Whether you're nation state threat actors or you're cyber criminal threat actors, the goal is the action on the objective. The goal is the mission. Get the creds, get in, get money, disrupt energy, disrupt communications, whatever it is. They don't get like a 3% pay raise. They don't get, a pizza party if they do it in a cool way. Most people don't give a damn how cool it was, how you did the hack, other than us. Right? So if your boss is like, get into the they wouldn't be like this, but like if the boss was like, hey, we want to take over, federal level executives of this country's email infrastructure, or we want to disrupt energy for this country at this time to coordinate with some type of boots on the ground attack, they don't care if you did it in the most elite level next hacker way. So if you get an email or you log in with a default credential or you custom write a shell, like a cradle with shell code and they don't care. No one cares. Okay. So criminals are logging in because it's easier. Last time I checked, I'm all about easier.
Apple sends lock screen alerts to outdated devices. These lock screen notifications are being sent to iPhones and iPads running older versions of iOS and iPadOS to protect users from web-based attacks and urge them to update their devices. This is currently being prioritized due to the appearance of iOS exploit kits like Karuna and Darksword, which we have been reporting on these past weeks, and which have, quote, raised concerns that they could democratize access to exploits that were previously reserved for nation states, potentially turning them into mass exploitation tools, end quote. Do you want to know more about the most?
All right. For the sake of time, we'll be quick on this one. Okay. Shout out to Apple. Thank you for, doing more than you had to. Thanks for being champions. If you're running a legacy system, i.e. an outdated iPhone, right? Apple is letting you know that you're at risk. Now, again, really quickly, this definitely benefits Apple because how do you fix an outdated iPhone? You buy a new one.
Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie, right? So Apple, I feel like they're doing it for the right reasons, but they're certainly going to financially benefit from this, right? So shout out to them. And for the bigger macro level picture, hold on, I guess. Excuse me. For the bigger macro level picture, you should always be mindful of running legacy technology in your environment, okay? Whenever again, no one likes this guy, okay? Like this gets me uninvited from the corporate picnic every year, but listen, whenever someone's like, oh, we should totally do this, whatever this is, we should roll out this new solution, we should buy this new thing. It's going to replace this old thing. Okay. Two things. One, like who's going to maintain it? Right. Obviously. Right. Like everybody gets all geeked up around the new shiny tool and you got an entire project kickoff team. And then once it gets deployed, like everybody abandons it to go to the next shiny thing. So that's one. Who owns this thing and who's going to maintain it? And then two, what is the plan for decommission? And nobody wants to talk about decommission when you haven't even bought the thing yet. But guess what? It's a thing. Also, like if it's replacing, like, oh, we're going to buy a Gigamon firewall to replace this TP-Link Sonic Wall Fortinet hot trash thing that we've been using for a minute. Okay, awesome. Who's going to, like, what's the plan for getting rid of the old one? No. We're just going to stand it up, next to it and let the traffic flow in parallel just to be sure there's no production issues. Yeah, that's fine. How long are we going to do that? A week, 2 weeks, 10 weeks, forever? I'm telling you, legacy tech lives on because everybody gets super geeked up for the new things and nobody gets super geeked up for spending time getting rid of old things, especially because the old things don't introduce any new features, functionality, utility to the organization, right? Like if you have an application that has a ton of data on it and you replace it with a new application that has a ton of data, you start using it because it's cool and that old one just sits there, it's attack surface, it's risk just sitting there, but nobody is using it and everybody forgets about it. And then you're like, hey, what are we doing with that application? They're like, bro, like, don't even worry about it. It's like, no, I do worry about it. That's like why I get paid to be here. What are we doing? And the problem is you're going to tell someone, hey, I want you to stop working on this thing and go work on this thing. And the sunsetting doesn't help you towards your project goals, your promotion, your things you're going to accomplish. So it really does become hard. And then, of course, it gets breached. And then everybody's like, oh, why is it there? Why was it there?
Pressing stories of the last few days in time for your weekly stand-up.
All right, guys, that was a great show. That went very quickly. For the first-timers who were here, I'm sorry, I forgot the first-timer's name who jumped in right after the mid-roll, but thank you for being here. If you guys were a first-timer listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, maybe watching on replay, maybe you're engaged at the gym or getting your breakfast situation set up there in the kitchen, thank you for spending an hour with us on the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. As always, invite a friend next time. This is a family-friendly and friend-friendly show. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes trying to answer all your questions to the best of my ability. It's a show called Jawjacking, and it's designed to help people get clarity, move their career forward. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Till next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jawjacking. I'm your host, Jerry Guy. We have some fun here. I put the glasses on. I say my identity is Jerry Guy, which is basically like the back of the mullet, right? So party in the front, business up front, party in the rear. Daily Cyber Threat Brief. It is a 1-hour instructor-led webinar. This is just freestyle and trying to help people. So if you have a question, put it in chat with a Q at the front so I know it's a question from me, and I will do everything in my power to answer it. Working towards kind of renovating the Jawjacking show, talking about getting, other hosts, different perspectives of hosts. I reached out to the all-female channel on Simply Cyber's Discord server. I don't go in there often because I'm not female, newsflash. But I did query them. Shamiria Gonzalez is taking a bit of a lead role in there, trying, maybe not necessarily being on stage here, but coordinating with people. So looking forward to that. Oh my God. All right. So here we go. Questions coming in. And thank you very much for asking. All right. Here we go. Scrolling. Come on. I think that was a Limp Bizkit song. Hey, someone said I miss Cribs in chat. Shimeria Gonzalez. I used to like MTV Cribs, but like, didn't it come out that they were just like renting mansions or renting houses? Like the talent, like, you know, maybe it's like Soulja Boy or something. It's like they didn't even live there. It was like the first time them seeing it too. All right, continuing to look through chat here. Oh, we got a first timer here. Noldster21, I think. Bruise and Hack says, welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Thank you for saying what's up. Again, this is Jawjacking. If you have questions, put them in chat with a Q, and we will get to them as soon as possible. I'm trying to scroll looking for the Qs in chat really quickly. Oh my gosh, where are the Qs? There we go. Any major takeaways from RSA? Yeah, you know, honestly, ZMF, one kind of like meta takeaway that I had, which I think is interesting, is I'm pleasantly surprised and cautiously optimistic that the vibe I was getting at RSA is that people and businesses are looking towards visibility of AI and management of AI, right? So last year was like all AI all the time. Like everybody's slapping AI on everything. And it was like, how fast can we move? How fast can we innovate? All these things. And I think people have begun to realize that there's like massive risk with that. And also, by the way, shout out to the GRC people in the world who screamed loud enough. There's no governance around AI right now. Carl can friggin' install OpenShell or OpenClaw on his work laptop running one command. That's a problem. People can copy and paste anything they want into Claude, Gemini, etc. That's a problem. So I actually got the vibe that there's like more of a deliberate focus and tooling around AI visibility and AI governance, which lo and behold, last time I checked, doing the abacus really quickly, that is a core critical security control, CIS 18 control 1 and 2, and 3 with data. Also NIST cybersecurity framework. The first one, identify, and second one, protect. Protect isn't just technical controls. It's also governance and approach to managing risk. So that was a major takeaway. I also like kind of a meta thing. Again, I don't personally like, I go to a bunch of different conferences. Okay. I will say that San Francisco as a city felt very much alive this year. Like last year when I went, it still kind of had like, it still kind of felt dead, right? I mean, there was people and everything, but like, for those who don't know, COVID absolutely destroyed San Francisco, destroyed it. And I will say that this year, it felt very alive. It felt very cool. San Francisco is a cool city. It's just expensive as all get out, but it's back. And if you have thoughts on that, Phil Stafford, Elliot, and Matthijs, I know are San Francisco local sunshine. How do you respond to your non-technical family members when they ask, what do you do for a living? I never know how to answer without being technical, at least a little. Oh, so SCOL07, it's easy. I just say, you know, say you work at, I don't know, like what's a corporate, say you work at IBM or whatever. I don't know. You know, you say, oh yeah, no, I'm paid to prevent bad guys from attacking IBM. You know what I mean? Make it simple, right? A lot of non-technical people will associate with movies and stuff like that. So you just say, hey, listen, I protect bad from happening at IBM. Hey, really quickly, this has happened one time before. One of my displays, my larger display, has like a yellow line outlining this. That just happened. I don't know what this means. Like actively doing a screen share with a threat actor right now. Maybe, I don't know. Can someone, maybe mods? I'm sure that this is an obvious thing. It's happened before. I can't remember though. I definitely have a yellow outline on my computer right now. All right. A hookah. All right. I will every once in a while, like maybe once or twice a year, I'll smoke a cigar with like a dark beer and like pontificate. Roswell, what's an occasional explainer to open up Jawjacking as SIG edited by the community? So it might be, let's cover the basics on DChem or something that is totally bite-sized and can be covered in 5 minutes. Yeah, we can do that as part of the new format for Jawjacking. Because, like, for example, sometimes Eric comes on and no one asks any questions, and then Eric will just kind of start talking about whatever. Like, I want to pre-stage several questions that are common. What certification should I got? I got a Sec Plus. What do I do next? What's the difference between SOC analyst and pen testing? Why is, what's going on with industry, right? Like, or what's threat intelligence? Like, a lot of very, very common questions. So, like, I'm going to pre-stage those, okay? Now, as far as, like, I don't want to pre-stage, like, what is DKIM and stuff like that, because it really depends on kind of the vibe. And I want to focus more on what people... I want to focus more on what people want to hear, not, like, what I think they want to hear. I learned that very early on in my YouTube career. What I think people want to know and what people actually want to know are two different things. So I stopped trying to, like, hand jam what I think people want in there. Oh, hey, Bruce and Hacks caught up with AB. AB's another community member who's awesome. He wanted to let you know, everyone, he misses being here live, but he needs to catch replay nowadays. He's unavailable at 8 a.m. Well, hey, for AB, who's on replay right now, good to see you, AB. And guess what? If he's not here, he's got a great reason why. So congrats to AB for continuing to crush it. Love that guy. That guy's got like such a great attitude, such a positive vibe. All right, here we go. Let's see. Risky 1955 talked to FedEx and James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet over the weekend. There you go. Nice. Definitely networking like a boss. Lazaro, one of my favorites here. At my org, promotions are based off titles and specialization. I wrote my first differ report that was well received. How can I show my org that I'm ready for that next title? I mean, honestly, manifest it, Lazaro, right? Start doing more differ things, right? Find opportunities. Don't like overstep boundaries and don't access things you shouldn't be. But, maybe do some, like, you could do a couple things, right? Start doing some differ labs, or, Jessica Hyde has a million of those things, and then do one over the weekend. And then when you go to work the next day, like, casually mention something cool you learned about mobile forensics or whatever. Like, start planting the idea that when people look at you, they think, oh yeah, Lazaro, digital forensics. He's doing that stuff all the time. I'll give you an example, Lazaro. You probably noticed this. Dennis Keefe has been doing OSINT and talking about OSINT for a minute. Like, when I think OSINT, I think Michelle Khan and Dennis Keefe for that reason. Dennis Keefe has essentially, like, branded himself as OSINT. You can do that with differ. Also, good luck on the promotion. I watched a video this morning, and we don't talk about money very often here, but I watched a video this morning about pay raises and the reality of them and everything. And, you could bust your hump. I bust my hump when I work, and I did it, my whole career, and never really got huge pay raises. Usually you get the biggest pay raise when you leave and go somewhere else. Also, if you've been somewhere 6 years, wherever you started your salary 6 years ago, and you've been getting these incremental bumps, the market grows quicker than your incremental bumps yearly. So someone coming in and getting the same job as you, or a job a level below you, might actually be making more money than you, which is why employers do not want employees to talk about salary, because it leads to awkward conversations where you're like, dude, this guy just started and he reports to me and he makes more than me. How is that okay? All right. Again, this is beyond that. But anyways, Lazaro, just start doing more differ stuff. Also, you may want to overtly just tell your boss that you're targeting promotion and you're leaning into differ, and tell the things. Do not do this at your performance review. Do this well before your performance review, okay? Also, Lazaro, you may have to switch companies. I'm not saying you should. But if you start to brand yourself as the differ person, and then your current employer is like, no, you be mindful of that, okay? What mess did I miss the beginning? My audio, I didn't have, I had my microphone hot only, Roswell UK, not the mixing board, so the sound effects and podcast didn't come in. Did you hug the Demigorgon at RSA? No, I didn't. I did take a picture with the CrowdStrike model thing, though. I do take allergy meds. I take like Timu, Zyrtec. I don't really take Timu. I buy the allergy pills from Costco. Hey, have you seen the new GRC framework for automated risk assessment called Jamara? No, but you have my attention, ZMF. You minx. Let's take a look. So Jamara is a central foundational text in Judaism. So let me do Jamara Cyber, GRC. Okay. Let's take a look here. Does it have a cool graphic? Ooh, GRC engineering model. Oh, this is very cool. I will tell you, I haven't seen this, but it's definitely, I'm going to share it in chat, because if ZMF said it, then we're on board. Listen, I'm going to do two things in April. I'm not taking vacation, but like I'm reducing my client deliverable work so I can focus for 2 weeks on training. I'm assigning myself training. I'm going to be focusing on AI and GRC engineering. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for sharing that, ZMF. We did have good vibes this year. Did I show the photo? I don't know if I showed the photo. If you guys didn't see it, really quickly. And let me start answering a question. Currently studying for ISC2 cybersecurity cert. Is it worthwhile as a first step for someone from a non-technical background? Yes. I absolutely think it's a great first step. Okay. The cybersecurity certificate will give you exposure to Python, web apps, networking, operating systems. I know a lot of people dunk on Google cybersecurity certificate, and the reason they dunk on it is because it will not get you a job by itself. But as a non-technical person, it is a great foundation. Also, in my GRC masterclass, the first the first section is a IT primer, right? So I think those will both go really well for you, creativity. So yes, continue on. Quick shout out to the San Francisco crew. This is us at Simply Cyber. I did really kind of a tough job of marketing it because I wasn't sure what I could commit to. So Quan, Sunshine, Phil, Elliot, and Nick listening on Apple Podcast, the rest here live. Little meetup, loved it. It was so fun. All right, keep asking your questions in chat. I'm here for you. This is Jawjacking. You ask questions, I give answers. Do you think Iran gets more connected? We'll start seeing state-backed detect. Yeah, sure. For sure. Dude, here's what I think, Roswell, UK. I think that, I guess this is what I think it. The more, I don't think it's more about Iran being connected. I think, yes, it's going to increase as Iran gets more connected. But I think we just saw Yemen get involved. Okay. There's a lot of requests coming from the United States to European countries to help us out. Although we somehow kind of pissed in all over the place and then asked for help afterwards. So you can't, I'm not surprised the United States isn't getting help. But my point is, as this conflict continues to escalate, more countries are going to get involved, which unlocks state-backed cyber capability of more countries. So yes, I think we're going to see more state-backed attacks, just not necessarily Iranian-based. Sure, there'll be a more Iranian-based, but I think there's going to be more everyone-based, especially since other countries are, supporting Iran that have very, very comprehensive and effective cyber capabilities, right? Like a little bit of a proxy war. Let's keep going. Hey, Harish. First time trying my chance at CFPs, which is a call for paper, which is how you speak at a cybersecurity conference. He says, I got 2 B-sides reaching out to me for the same talk. Any advice? I take it it's not a good idea to give some content, or am I wrong? Oh, dude, listen. Number one, great job submitting for CFPs. That's a great idea. B-sides is a great conference for your first speaking engagement. By the way, B-sides are usually smaller conferences, typically community run, and they typically complement a larger conference, although that is kind of like gone by the wayside. Shout out to Simply CyberCon, which is happening the same weekend as B-sides Charleston, deliberately so we can get that complimentary feature. I would say, unless the B-sides conferences are the same day, which they likely are not, give the same talk at both. Like, one of the best things you can do is get a talk and then use it multiple times, because you get economies of scale. You also get exposure. Plus, by doing the talk multiple times, you'll actually refine the talk, get the talk better, dialed in, shorter, hit the points quickly. So it is a good idea to give the same content. Yes, do it. Now, don't always do it, right? If you're like, I think you should do it. I gave my Game of Thrones talk like 4 times. People really enjoyed it. So do it. Get that economy of scale. How would you suggest a noob go about helping with the AI governance problem, or would you focus elsewhere? Easy does it. It depends if you're talking about like self-development or you're talking about at work. I mean, you could start anywhere you want. There's no reason that as a noob, you can't start with AI governance. I mean, what I would say is, number one, start getting familiar with frameworks, right? MIT has an AI framework. There's a couple AI frameworks. I can't remember any of the others off the top of my head. I do want to update my resources page on my website as well to have more AI resources, but go look at the AI MIT framework. I'll drop a link in chat, actually. MIT framework. The MIT AI risk repository. Get familiar with this. Honestly, also get familiar. Easy does it with just basic NIST cybersecurity framework or CIS 18. Start entering those conversations when it comes to AI and AI governance. Like I said, at RSA, it felt very much like AI governance was front of mind for a lot of businesses. So it's definitely going to be coming down the pike real hard. So I think you should do it, honestly. All right, a lot of people sharing their how do you answer the question of what do you do? I swear to God, I stopped trying with my one aunt. She just tells people I do computers. I do computers. She said that for 20 years. Oh, you should meet my nephew, Jerry. He does computers. I love my aunt, of course. So, all right. He says, potentially stupid question. Guy named 303. Let's get that sorted out. There are no stupid questions. Okay, no stupid questions. He says he's terrible at allocating and organizing his time. How do you go about balancing all you do? Well, thanks for the question. A couple different ways. Number one, I schedule everything. Okay, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but here's the reality. And I feel like a lot of people are going to either say preach or nod their head. If it's on my calendar, it gets done. How many times have you said to someone, we should get together? And like every time you see them, you're like, oh yeah, we should totally get together. We never get together. We should get together. Put it on the calendar. Hey, guess what? April 5th, we're having lunch. You can always move it. You can always cancel, but it's going to happen. So for me, I can tell you right now, as an example, what is today? Today's Monday. Okay, so today I'm having a meeting from 9:30 to 10:30. Then I have a meeting from 11 to 12. Then I'm going to Costco. Then I'm going to, I have to review a contract at 1 p.m. and provide red lines. At 2, I'm actually finishing a LinkedIn post that I'm sending out tomorrow. At 3 o'clock, I have a doctor's appointment I have to scoot to. And then at 4, James McQuiggan and I are talking about a piece of work that we're collaborating on. I know exactly what I'm doing today. I've allocated the time. I will make it a priority to get that thing done. If you're just like, oh, I'm going to just kind of vibe and flow and see what happens today, you're going to get distracted. You're going to watch YouTube. Justin Gold's going to send you some type of conspiracy theory thing that you're going to go down a rabbit hole on. You will lose time and it'll be the end of the day. And you're like, why didn't I get anything done today? I'll do it tomorrow. No. Also, another like pro tip I have is I use Google Tasks, and not so much to keep myself on track. I'm just seeing if anything in here I don't want you to see. No. So anytime, like say you're just sitting there, say you're in a meeting, right? Say you're in a meeting, just as a quick example. Say you're in a meeting or you're at a conference and you talk to someone and they're like, oh, hey, like Phil Staffort's a perfect example. Phil Stafford, I said, dude, you should come on to Simply Cyber Firesides and talk about AI. Here's a link. Go use it and sign up. Now, I'm not going to harangue Phil Stafford to do this, but a good idea would be for Phil Stafford to open Google Tasks right now or whatever, note taker, and say, register for Firesides, dink, right? So then say it's the start of the morning, guy named 303, and you have nothing on your calendar today. Well, here's an opportunity. Look at your task list and start assigning things. Don't just go down the list and say, oh, like I'll register, like maybe for that one, because that's like a 2-minute thing. But like, say it's like work on my, find a conference to submit a CFP to, then develop a slide or an abstract or whatever. Say that takes 1 hour. Well, guess what? Block an hour on your calendar today and then commit to it. That's what's up. All right. We are at 9:26. I got 4 more minutes. Continuing to look at questions. What's up, Kathy? A Norhack, who I think was the first timer today. Is job market really where most jobs are way more about people networking rather than certs? Yes, it is about networking. The certs sometimes are required as minimum to get past HR or viable. Also, I mean, they do kind of indicate to the interviewer kind of what base understandings you have. But yeah, I honestly, a Norhack, I strongly believe, and it's an opinion, that personal branding and basically your professional network is incredibly valuable. I'm not going to name names, but like I know several people who I've been directly involved with or I was aware of that, you know, basically got a job because as soon as they announced that they were on the market, people in their network reached out to them because they know who they are and what they do. Again, I don't want to name any names, but like I know 4 right off the top of my head. All right. Taekwon, I've been slowing down in my studying because of not seeing ROI. How can I kick it back again? Taekwon Gong, what I would suggest is lean into something that gets you excited, right? If you're excited about something, you'll find the time because you're excited about it. If you're just grinding, that can exhaust you, and I get you. Hey, we got a first timer in the chat. Skate Aussie, what's up?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal. Skate Aussie. All right. I am speaking at Wild West Hacking Fest again this year. That's confirmed. FYI. When is the best time to inform your current org team that you're exploring other opportunities, if at all? When you're giving them your 2-week notice. Don't, Escol07, do not listen. This is my take on this one. People want to chime in on it, go for it. Do not ever tell your employer or anyone you work with that you are exploring other opportunities. Don't do it. I have seen people who have said it, and first time there's a need for a layoff, boom, you're out. You basically put a target on your head. Oh, You know, this guy's not part of the team anymore. This guy's looking elsewhere. Seems like a threat, right? Not to say that they're going to do it, but I wouldn't even do it until I had an offer letter in hand. And even then, be careful, because sometimes offer letters get rescinded. The thing that I always do, SCole07, is whenever I meet with my manager or whatever, kind of like the question earlier about Lazaro who wants to get into differ, I'm very open and communicative about, hey, like, you know, like, I know, like, whatever, just a weekly manager meeting, like, hey, what's up? I'm working on these things. I'm crushing it. Hey, I just want you to know that, like, I'm really excited about digital forensics and incident response. I've started doing some training and learning just to make you aware. Like, if there's ever opportunities, let me know, because I would love to get more into that. Okay, mentioned it. Maybe a month later, hey, I kept doing that differ stuff. It's still really interesting. I mean, do you have any insights or whatever? No. All right, hey, it comes time for performance review. You know, you crushed it. Great work. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Listen, is there, how do I go from where I am to digital forensics? Well, we don't really have that opportunity here, Jerry. Like, just keep doing GRC. Perfect. So then when I come with a differ offer letter or whatever, SCole07, I'm like, dude, I've been telling you. Also, another one, if you're asking for more money, right? That's another one that you shouldn't just kind of drop the bomb at your performance review, because guess what? The budget's already set. You could say, hey, listen, really quick. I just want you to know, like, you know, my salary is 40 grand and I've been looking, my buddy just got hired. Even this is a little fib. You could say, oh, my buddy just got hired a very similar role and he's getting 80 grand. You know, I'm not saying I need more money right now, but what is it that I need to do in order to get a pay bump or get promoted into a higher class to be able to get more money? And they're, oh, I can't do anything for you. Or they give you some information, you do it. If they give you a plan and you do it, and then you don't get more money, or they don't give you the promotion, or they tell you that there's no way it's going to happen, well, then they're signaling to you that, you know, you're going to have to move. Okay. But SCole07, I do not want you to get laid off unnecessarily. All right. I'm going to speed run because we're over time. I've got a meeting in 3 minutes. I'm going to speed run the rest of the questions here. AMK Cyber, first timer. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
All right. Okay. Roswell, UK, I'm just skipping your questions now because they're not, I mean, they're funny, but they're not really aligned with what we're trying to accomplish here. All right, everybody. I'm caught up on chat. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everybody who joined the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, as well as the Jawjacking. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I'm Jerry, your chat. Until next time, stay secure. And don't forget to check out the Discord server, all you first timers. We got a whole thriving community over on the Simply Cyber Discord server, all about good times. You can go to simplycyber.io/Discord to go onto that. And then, of course, if you're interested in our conference, this conference is coming November 8th and 9th, 2026. Registration is open. CFP opens May 4th. I'm Jerry, your chat. Stay secure.